I would cry, oh, baby, oh, I would cry, oh, baby, oh, baby, don't you, oh, baby, oh, baby, oh. Baby, don't you, oh, baby, oh, baby, then I would cry, oh, baby.
Welcome to part 6 or 7 or something, I don't really remember, of our Iceland adventure. We're in Iceland, we're flying paramotors. Today we're at a site that's this little random airstrip, and we got a broken down building, we got some crazy rock formations down the coast, and back there we got a giant mountain. So my plan is probably fly to the rocks, maybe fly up to the mountain, and just go up for probably an hour and a half, so should be sick. Let's send it. Alright, looking real nice out here. Got a little bit of wind, but I gotta get it off the ground before that ditch drops off. Yeah, buddy! Tuned up my motor this morning, running real good now. Alright, I'm laid out in this super freaking tall grass. Hopefully, my lines don't snag. Nailed it! No power lines? There's power lines out there. So sick, dude. Look at this landscape. Before we got here, we took a little trip up one of these mountains and found some caves, which was awesome. Nice one. These caves had dates back to like the 1700s carved in them, which is pretty righteous. All right, so I got my session on my foot now. I was careful this time to make sure it's fully clipped in. Let's do a spiral around this house. Yeah, buddy. All right, so we briefed a little bit, and the deal is we're gonna just leave the strip, meet over there by those rocks, and then hopefully fly around together. I'm curious what else is down this coast, because we really can't see anything right now. I'm thinking if it's nothing that epic, I might ditch the coastal flight and just come up here to this big old mountain. Oh yeah. That's not much of a beach. Dude, that is a gnarly beach. Just massive boulders straight into the ocean. So today was the eclipse, and so many people hit me up asking if I was going to fly during the eclipse. And I'm really sad I missed it in the US, because I totally would have driven to like the full blackout zone and flown. But instead I'm in Iceland, which I can't complain at all about. There's a bunch of trash and buoys down there. But yeah, the eclipse happened like an hour or two ago. And just FYI, like the eclipse in Iceland apparently is nothing. I read online, it said it was supposed to be like a 1/8, like it'll just take out a little sliver of the sun. But really, I watched it at the time it was supposed to happen, and I didn't see anything. Maybe it's because you need those goggles, I don't know, but regardless, if I filmed it with my camera, you wouldn't have seen anything. Look at this gnarly cliff. You do not want to have a motor out splash down there. Woohoo! Shit's crazy, dude. We do not have landscapes like this in New Jersey. So today's Monday, and I fly back on Thursday. Wednesday is probably when we're gonna do the final flight, if the weather permits, and head back to the town where the airport is. So we got a couple more sessions lined up. I'm not really sure of what sites we're gonna go to. I would like to fly through this little gap here, as long as I can feel it out, make sure there's no crazy turbulence. Yeah, that's pretty neat. That's so crazy. It's just entirely so beautiful out here. And I'm gonna go home in New Jersey and feel like super jaded. Like, this is lame. Nah. We were talking about it last night, and still, after all these crazy adventures, one of my favorite flights is just buzzing around at home when there's no wind. Flying low, flying high, flying around balloons, that kind of thing that it just never gets old. Do a little spiral around this guy right here. Yeah. Imagine that thing just friggin' breaks off. Alright, I think I'm going to make the call to go up above these clouds, because I can see it looks like they're only maybe half of the altitude of that mountain peak over there. And I see a couple guys up there right now. So I think I'm going to climb up above them, and then I might head towards that peak. But I only have 45 more minutes left on this card, and I want to save it. So I'm going to shut her down, and I'll pick up with you guys once I'm up above the clouds. Oh yeah, now we're talking. Entering Wonderland territory. Yeah, dude. Very nice. These are some beautiful clouds. We got that little rainbow thing going on next to the sun. Yeah, buddy. Gotta get P-cam rolling and sync. Some quality Icelandic cloud flying. Very nice, very nice. One of my favorite things is flying in clouds. So everyone else is down on the ground. Another guy, Byron, is up in the clouds. Then we got this guy, I'm not sure who that is, way up high. Looks like he's trying to make it to the summit of that mountain, maybe. Iceland. They should call it Iceland. Decision time once again. Got 5 guys down low, cutting up the coast. Got Byron dropping down. Got him up above the clouds and him going towards the mountain. I've had a massive headache all day. I think it's finally starting to go away. That's a good sign. Yeah, so last night in the last episode, we ended up at this campsite that looked like we were on the moon. And we were hoping the northern lights would come out like the night or 2 nights before that, and we would fly during the northern lights. Long story short, it didn't end up happening, and the wind stayed pretty strong through sunset, so we didn't fly anyway. But I got up this morning and I flew that site, and I didn't go too far. I just stayed around and kind of cut around the hills, but I didn't film it. There's a couple of flights I've done here where I haven't even filmed, and they were beautiful nonetheless, but it's just nice to film some to share and enjoy later, and then have a few flights where I really just do it all for myself and be completely present in that flight. And that's what this morning was, along with a couple other flights. I did a flight to the volcano all by myself. That was pretty rad. We were talking last night kind of around our make-believe campfire. We filmed a little bit that should be on the Scout Paramotor channel, and it was just a discussion about what all of our favorite flights were. I thought for the longest time of what my favorite flight has been. On this specific trip, it was most definitely the volcano flight. It was just beautiful and really unique. But in general, I've had so many like amazing flights. I remember when it was like a top 3 and I could name them, and then it was like a top 5 and I could name them, and then it grew to top 10, and like now there's been so many amazing, insane flights between out west and Oshkosh and Florida and New Jersey and everywhere. Now Iceland. I feel like my best flight has kind of shifted to just the flight around home, and that's kind of what I concluded. My best flight happens over and over again. It's the repeatable one back at home, where I just cruise around down low and just go out with no plan, no specific point of interest, but that landscape is so familiar to me now that I just buzz around and know exactly what's around every corner, and it's just home, and that's the fun part about it. You go out with no plan, no nothing. You wait until you're in the air to make a decision of what you want to do, and that's that. That's really, I think, my favorite flight. Oh, that's inconvenient. My motor stalled. Hopefully I can start it back up. There we go. Good motor. So I just climbed way, way up. And you can get kind of a good look at this peninsula out here. Out going into the sun rays, we got, looks like a cargo ship of some sort. Beautiful clouds everywhere. And check this out. That slow-mo pan, almost as high as that peak. So beautiful. I mentioned in the glacier video, the very first one out here, that mountain by the glacier we were at along the south shore is apparently the highest in Iceland, and it was like 6,000 something feet, which is incredible. Never flown by a mountain that tall. I can see the guys down here cutting up the clouds. I don't think I'm going to get much closer to that mountain. I think I'm going to hook up with these guys because they're just cutting it up in the clouds. But yeah, we heard from the locals that this week that we've been in Iceland, we have totally lucked out on weather conditions, because they said the past couple months it's been very spotty for like flyable conditions. It's been windy or raining or just crazy weather conditions. And this is perfect flying conditions right here. Like the wind is barely even moving. So lucky to have this beautiful weather. I tweaked my motor this morning and I kept cranking up the idle speed. Apparently it's still a little too low because my motor freaking died. I mean, worst case, I just land next to this road and the guys have to come pick me up. Wouldn't be the worst spot to have a motor out here in Iceland. There's been much, much worse. I would like to join up with these guys and cut it up to the clouds. I haven't had coffee in days. Do you get caffeine hangovers? Maybe that's why I had a headache today. Or maybe it was because we road tripped for like 4 hours. And the paved roads out here are nice, except for every so often there's like a really hard divot in the road. Legit, like I freaking bashed my head on the ceiling so many times. And then we went off-road a couple times, and the gravel dirt roads around here are so horrible. If you go over 5 miles per hour, the car is freaking shaking itself apart. Even though the Suzuki rental we have, it doesn't have the world's best off-road suspension. Who wants to go do a touch and go on a container ship? Now that would be rad. Dude, if that was doable, can you imagine? Or like a cruise ship, like it's just into the wind perfectly that you can just fly out, set down on it, take off again. All right, well, I'm gonna conserve some battery or conserve some cart space. I'm gonna shut her down and we'll pick up next to these guys. Caught up with the dudes and check out that sun over there. There's a super, super long sunset period in Iceland where like the last 2 hours of the day, it's this golden hour kind of thing. As long as there's no clouds or mountain obscuring it, which like tonight, looks like we're gonna have some beautiful light for a while. There he goes. Nope, I think that was aborted mission. It looks like everyone's starting to head back to where we took off from. A little bit of road foot drag action. Almost had a jousting sesh going on. Oh, I'll get a quick foot drag in. Foot dragging? Look at Byron over there. And Ryan. Friggin' slow-mo running. Don't mind us, just casually flying down the road like it's no big deal. Oh, check that out. Freaking cave or something. Dude, that's rad. There's like a walking path down there. I might have to check that out. That's dope. What's up, dude? Yeah, dude. It's so buttery smooth out here. You know what's crazy? Slightly absurd. I feel like this flight has been very mild, although very enjoyable, compared to all the other like extreme volcano and glacier flights. But this flight, we flew around those rocks, flew above the clouds, this beautiful mountain, the beautiful sunset, perfectly smooth air. It's crazy that it feels like it was one of the more laid-back flights, but certainly just as enjoyable. I think I'm gonna head back to the strip. I see Travis spiraling around our vehicles there. I think I'll head back there, probably bring it in for a landing. Sun's going down. We're almost back to the field. Just gotta check the wind direction and bring her on in. Looks like they already got some tents set up. Wind is almost 180 degrees opposite of what I took off in. Travis coming in for a landing. I think this is like one of the best sunsets skies we've had. Miro coming in. Nailed it. Nine out of 10, 8 out of 10, 7.5. So we got our camp set up, got my tent chilling in the background. That was just another really beautiful flight. So much fun here in Iceland. A couple more videos, I'm sure, coming your way. We're gonna be flying here tomorrow morning. We'll see what happens. Might just take that one for myself and just have fun with it. But we'll see, more content coming. Thank you guys for tuning in if you made it this far. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. More Iceland adventures coming soon. Till then, peace out.
Then I would cry.